Hey, macaroni! Hey! Cummings, Missoula River Lodge, checking in after last 8 days of fishing. Start our segment again with a story from the river. Pretty good one. Pretty good one. I was talking to a buddy of mine that guides in eastern Montana, and he had a fairly challenging day that he shared with me. It sounded like he had been drinking a couple beers and was laughing at himself while he was telling it. Had a client that they'd booked. During the booking process, a client had told him that they'd fished a lot, very experienced angler. So he said, well, I'll do it myself. He's the owner of the business. He says, oh, that sounds like a good booking. It's a single, and so I'll do it myself. So they get in the boat, rig up the flies, make the first cast that's shorter than what he anticipated based on what the client had told him. But it was functional. It's okay. Makes the first cast, okay, and the client didn't mend it. So mend is when you take the line and you put it behind the fly. It's crucial. It's one of those things you have to do, that and hook set. So my friend says, hey, sir, upstream mend. The guy kind of wiggles his rod. No, sir, that's not an upstream mend. I don't mean to offend you, but upstream mend, you pick the rod up, put it behind there. The guy turns around and said, I didn't sign up to be told how to fish. So, well, I'm not telling you how to fish. I'm just telling you that you got to upstream mend to do it. The guy kind of gets quiet, does a little bit better wiggle, but still not an upstream mend. So they go down and my friend starts on him. Upstream mend, pull your slack, upstream mend. Kind of wiggles, kind of wiggles, kind of wiggles. Flies raking all over the place. Sir, do you want me to help you with that upstream mend? Guy turns around and says, hey, bud, I told you I wasn't here to be told what to do. And I certainly do not want to listen to upstream mend all day long. I'm going to cast it in the river, and you're going to row me down the river. My buddy's like, whoa, okay. Like, all right, well, whatever. Put a chew in and let it rip, buddy. So he's rowing down the river, looking at the sky, looking around, guys flailing away in all the wrong places, flies scraping all over the place. He's not saying mend anymore. He's just like, well, whatever. So his client turns around and says, I don't think your flies work. Well, what do you mean, sir? Well, I've been fishing here for 2 hours, and I haven't caught a single fish. I think you have defective flies. Okay, well, no, sir, we really don't know. I don't mean to offend you, but you got to put that upstream mend in there. And if you don't, then the fly rakes all over the surface. And the guy says, well, I told you I don't want to be told to upstream mend. And if the flies are good enough, they should be able to be eaten however I present them. No, that's not how it works. Well, that's how it works for me. Okay. You want me to change the fly? Fine, change the fly, put it back on, same thing. He turns around and he says, I don't think this fly works either. And now my buddy's starting to get twitchy, right? Like, okay, all right, man. I told you about the upstream mend, and you have to have that to catch fish. I'm not going to hassle you if you want me to row you down the river, but you got upstream mend. And the client says, I told you that I don't want to hear upstream mend all day. So my buddy finally flips on the 4th fly change. He's gone through 4 fly changes and flies raking across the surface and says, hey, bud, I know you don't want to hear upstream mend, bud. I know you don't want to hear that. So what I'm going to say is ass. So instead of mend, I'm going to say ass. So when I say upstream ass, downstream ass, downstream ass, left ass, right ass. And the guy didn't know what to do, right? He's like, well, so we made a deal. I'm not going to tell you to mend. Okay. So they spent the rest of the afternoon him saying, ass left, ass right, upstream ass, downstream ass. And the guy eventually sort of got it, right? So they get to the end of it. And he's thinking, oh, I did the guide thing where I'm kind of crass and cantankerous and it squared things up. And they'd caught a few fish on ass mends. So they get to the end of the day. He says, all right, well, good fishing with you. And he's like, well, do you want to go again tomorrow, or what do you want to do? And the client turns to him and says, I don't want to go. I had 3 days booked. I don't want to go anymore. And I found your use of the term ass infuriating and insulting. So I want my money back. So my buddy says, well, I'm sorry. We have an ass fee for each day that I go down the river. And you've got one ass fee you owe me, and I'll refund the rest. Does that work for you? They looked at each other and said, yeah, that works for both of us. Shook hands and went away. So anyways, my friend had a day of ass mends and got one ass fee out of a 3-day booking. And I think he drank a few beers that evening. So story from the river. I don't think I'm going to go with ass mends this year as a teaching tool, but apparently it works for only short periods of time until the client just leaves. Fishing report is fishing's been B+ to A-, B- if you pick the wrong stuff. We like to get the cloudy days have been the best, and we've been getting a bunch of wind. That's why I'd say B-. We've just been getting these windy, sunny days, and it blows off our tricos. So fighting wind. We've been fighting wind for a bit, but catching a lot of fish. Saw a lot of jammer browns. Caleb got one over 2 feet the other day. I had a day where we landed 4 over 20, which was a really great day. So there's quite a bit of fishing around right now. But if you ever get in a position where you don't get the fly exactly where you want and the line's ahead of it, just upstream, ass mend. No big deal. Have a good day. Joe Cummings, we're staring down at a warm fall. Flows are good, catching some fish, and hope to see you on the river before the snow comes. Yeah, gator. Oh yeah, that's awesome.